Yeah, appreciate everybody coming out today. It's a big day. It's one I've been looking forward to. First kind of way, in a formal way, we can introduce you to one of our players. Um, to me, as we build the program here, year one, I think we've kind of done a pretty good job stating our goals, kind of unite the family, build a fan base, try to create a consistent home court advantage here, pay respect to the past, look forward to the future, lots of things going on. To me, at the core of all this is the fan base getting to know our players. To me, like, there's a relationship in college basketball between attendance and winning. It's undeniable. Nobody could argue that. One of the best examples in the history of sports, really, in our league in men's basketball with Kansas. Nothing short of a domination of our league, really, in terms of winning championships. And they have the best home court in a lot of ways. It's a consistent home court. And so as we try to strive to create an attendance that's consistent here, I think at the core of that is when do fans really get invested? It's when they're emotionally invested. It's when it becomes personal. It's not just about the game. Let's go see the team tonight. It's about, I have a responsibility to support that team. It's what I do. I support Texas football. I support Texas basketball. I'm a Texas soccer person. And when you get invested in something, it becomes personal. And to me, at the core of all that's the relationship between the fan base, the student body, Texas supporters, and our players. And so in the ever-changing college athletics, not necessarily just the portal, but in today's game, the years of traditional, I grew up watching Timmy for 4 or 5 years. That's just almost kind of rare now. So we take the responsibility really serious, and we're going to try to do a great job getting our players out there. I'd much rather you guys get to know our players and hear their story than mine. This team is about our players, the past players and the current players. So this guy to my left, Timmy, I got a little bit of history with him. I had a chance to get to know him a little bit in the recruiting process at my last school, and then certainly when Timmy was in the transfer portal, really because of a coaching change, we knew all about him. Simply stated, basketball-wise, there's not any better returning players in college basketball. Timmy's done about all you can do from an individual standpoint. He's a guy that scored the ball, rebounded the ball, had high assists. He's a first-team All-Pac-12 player. I don't want to speak for Timmy, but the thing that attracted to me most the very first time I talked to him was him and I share the vision about winning and about being relative in March and about playing in games where the ladder's over there in the corner and they bring the trophy in at halftime, those kinds of games. And so, I love this guy. I've only been with him a couple months, but he's everything that I'm about. He's everything our program is about and will be about. He's got a toughness to him, an unselfishness to him. He's got one of the best stories in college basketball. He's overcome a lot of adversity to be here at this level today. But I'm excited for you guys to spend a few minutes with him now and develop a relationship with him over time. And I think as our fans get to know our players personally, as our fans get emotionally attached to this team, as our student body gets to know these guys, I think that's where we can really start cracking the code. And one of our main objectives is to create a home court. So this is Timmy Allen.
Questions for Timmy? Just raise your hand. I'll call on you. We'll go up. Brian in front.
Hey, Brian Davis from the Austin Market State.
How's it going?
Yes, as Coach talked about, you have done a lot of things player-wise.
Yeah.
But it's down Utah struggled, And so what were you kind of looking for when you were wanting to take another step in your basketball career and why Texas?
Mainly, I just wanted to compete at the highest level. Like you said, we struggled, and I'm a winner, and I'm looking to win championships. I'm looking to be surrounded by the best players in the country every day, and that's something new for me here, just gelling with the guys. And, we got kids from all over the country here, and the talent, and everyone wants to be so great here that the energy and practice and the intensity is just next level, and that's going to do nothing but elevate us for games. And, that's what I want every day. I want that tough practice every day. I want to be coached hard every day. And I want to be surrounded by great people and players every day. So being here is just the best fit for me.
Joe in the back.
Joe Salzer, Fox 7. I just wanted to ask you, how has it been gelling with all these different components that are coming in from all sorts of places for you guys? How has it been gelling?
Yeah. It's been really fun. A lot of guys with a lot of different personalities and a lot of guys with something to prove. Coming into the gym every day with guys like that does nothing but motivate you and wants you to be just as good for yourself as you are for them. I've 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 grown great relationships with my teammates, and like the friendships we've created in the short amount of time I've been here is second to none. They're relationships that'll last forever, and the talent in the basketball is just a side piece. But with everything we got going on off the court and just the way we bond and mold together, it's gonna do nothing but help us on the court. So I'm just excited to see that.
Ross in front, go ahead.
Hey, Timmy, Ross Fisher here with the Dallas Longhorns. I just want to know what it's like to join such a large transfer class, and were you aware, when you were in the process of being in the transfer portal, were you aware of like the sheer volume of transfers that were going to commit to Texas at that time?
No, I was not aware. I'm very happy about it, but no, I was not aware. I knew I was going to be one of a few guys who come in here and try to impact right away. Um, to be honest, when I was on the phone with Coach Beard in the recruiting process, we didn't talk much about players coming in. We talked a little bit about the guys coming back, but that wasn't our concern. I have trust in Coach, and I knew he was going to put together the army that we have and the guys around us who know we can win. So I trusted him with that. Like you said, we got a ton of guys with a ton of talent from all over the country, and you can ask nothing but more than that. So I'm excited to get going with the guys, but I was not aware, but I'm very happy about it.
What did you guys talk about with each other, with Coach Beard prior to joining?
We talked about toughness and winning and how those correlate with each other and what we could do together to reach the top of the top and what we're both trying to get to.
You want to tell me a little about Ted Lasso?
So we're all kind of watching this Ted Lasso show. If we don't watch it, one of us won't be playing if you don't watch it. But we gonna be watching it. But it just correlates to our team, and we try to relate to it a little bit. So we got all them believe signs you see around here is from Ted Lasso.
Ryan in front.
Let's go back before Utah. I mean, from what I've been able to gather about your recruiting, it seemed like it was a little slow
Yeah.
initially. And I think you wanted to go to UCLA at one point initially, and that didn't work out.
Mhm.
And I just wonder, when you did choose Utah, how much did you feel like, hey, I'm gonna go prove people that they missed out on something great?
A lot goes into that. Um, my recruitment was really good for a while, my junior year, and then my mom had passed, and I took kind of like a couple months. I'll say a couple months off. I just slipped a little bit in my game, in my approach to it, and Utah was one of the schools that stuck around during that whole period, and like I could do nothing but be faithful to them for that. Coach K is a coach I got a lot of respect for. He stuck with me through 3 years, uh, like, and he laid it out on the line for me and let me do what I had to do to elevate my game. Um, so I wouldn't say it was awfully slow. I just think Utah was the best fit for me and my family at the time. And with the coaching change, it was just in my best options to go somewhere else.
And I read a couple stories from the Utah papers that when you talked about your mom and that was how such a huge impact in your life and how I would imagine kind of formulates how you go forward in this now. I mean, what did she mean to you?
Everything. I mean, if she was sitting here today, she wouldn't believe I'm at the University of Texas. I wouldn't believe it either, but I know she's happier than I am that I'm here. She's everything to do with why I'm here and what I'm doing and how I do it. She's the heart of my heart. I am her. She lives through me. So, that's just trying to what I'm trying to bleed into this program.
In the back, in the far right.
Keenan Womack Rivals. So you had success already at Utah. Nice to meet you, first of all. You had success already at Utah. What's it like coming to another school and buying into a new system and a new program? How's that feel?
Um, I think first you have to let go of the past. Everything that I've done in the past 3 years doesn't mean anything to me at this point in my career. Um, I'm at a new program, like you said, with new goals and higher goals, and you have to reestablish yourself. I'm at a new conference, clean slate, 0-0s all across the board. So I'm here to buy in. I've already been bought in, but I'm here to buy in, lead, do whatever I can to do to win, and just help my teammates along the way. And if we all do that, we're gonna be just all right.
Danny, go ahead in the back.
Danny Davis, the Austin American States and the Campus Magazine. In the short amount of time you've been here, what's been your impressions so far of Andrew Jones as a teammate and as a basketball player?
Andrew Jones is Uh, one of the best people I've met, top to bottom. I mean, he has an incredible story, just like more than a couple of us. But he battled leukemia, and my mom died of cancer. So we kind of had this natural relationship off the jump. There was no real forcing it. Me and AJ1 have just like we've talked about basketball, we've talked about life, we've talked about ups and downs of our lives and how we can relate to each other, and it's been kind of moving. He's one of the most important people in my life at this point. Um, I mean, outside of basketball, we all know the fantastic basketball player he is. He pushes me every day. We're at practice, going at it, talking, all that. But outside of basketball, he's one of the best people I've been around, and just his influence and the way he moves, just I feel that, and I can relate to that. So me and AJ1 are just as close as we could probably be.
Got time for two last ones for Timmy? Jason in the back.
Jason Commander, Texas Student Television. Kind of going off of that last question, how have Andrew Jones and the other returning players helped you get acclimated to the program and the city of Austin?
I mean, they showed us the ropes. They've been here for years. They're veterans. They've been in the league. They know what it's going to be like. So for a guy like me coming from a different conference and kind of from across the country, it's been nice to have a few guys back, him, Courtney Ramey, Jace, Brock, to just show me the ropes, show me the way of Texas, show me the Texas way, how we do things, and the messages that coach relay to them and to us as players. It's all transparent, and we're all on the same page. So I think that's helped a lot.
Joe on your left here.
Joe Cook with Inside Texas. I mean, 35 minutes a game for the past 2 seasons. That's a lot of basketball. Was that part of why you thought about leaving Utah, is to maybe get some guys around you who could help your skill set out without having to play
Uh,
6, 37 minutes?
yeah. I'm the last person that will ever complain about minutes. To be truthful,
every other player.
to be truthful, but I want to be surrounded by the best players in the country. As you should, as a competitor, someone who wants to elevate their game to the highest level. I think that should be in your focus. So I'm here with the best players in the country, and I think it's gonna look really good when we put it all together.
Brian, you got time for one last one, sir.
Dude, when you guys went to when the basketball team went to the volleyball match the other night, they showed it on LHN. It really struck me. This is a group of grown men
Yeah,
out there.
yeah.
What is it? Talk to us about what is it like with a bunch of 20, 21-year-old guys, grown guys, who everybody has their own experiences. Everybody's kind of done the all-conference stuff. And now y'all are coming here with a very specific mission.
Yeah.
It seems like. How different is that than being around a bunch of guys who are one and dones and hot shots?
It's different. I talked to coach about it the other day, and playing with such good players can be tricky sometimes because you can almost be too unselfish for the guys that you have around you. Like you said, we're grown men. We all know what we want to do. We're all trying to find our lane within that role and just be a star in our role. There's no animosity or selfishness on this team, and we've all done it separately, but we haven't won together. So we think if we do that, we could all reach the personal goals that we want. So that's the main mission and goal.
Timmy, thanks for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Raise hands, questions for Coach, please. Jeff in the back, please.
Coach Jeff Jones from KU. We just heard about the adversity that you mentioned that Timmy's faced. What is his story? How does that impact you? How does that impact the team, knowing what he's overcome?
Yeah, every guy and every story, every team has a story. This team has some special ones, Timmy's a guy that's overcome a lot of adversity. Timmy's not supposed to be here. And I've always thought, kind of the same with myself. I never thought I was supposed to be here, and just kept working and working and working, and knowing there's a relationship between, work and results and opportunity. So Timmy's a humble guy. Look, he's one of the best players in college basketball last year. He can do a lot of different things. He can impact the game a lot of different ways. Man, he's always in the gym. I've had the pleasure of coaching some players who are actually absolutely addicted to this game, and Timmy's on that list. There's not a day that goes by that Timmy doesn't put in the time required to be great. In 2 months here, I think he dropped 10 pounds, 2% body weight. He made improvements in every area of the NBA combine testing, and that's just the weight room. On the court, he's worked really hard on his game, and I think he'll have some additions to his game this year that he hadn't had in the past. But he's a special guy, and where it all starts with him is his story. He's overcome a lot of adversity. the death of his mother when I think he was a junior in high school. It's a real story. And again, I look forward to you guys getting to know all our players. And I think there's some stories really worthy of being told this year. And I think as our fans get to know these guys personally, that's where the emotion comes in. And when fans get emotionally attached to a team, it's one of the big steps, in my opinion, on how to build a fan base.
Joe, go ahead and let.
I asked this to him, but you got a lot of guys on your team who played 30 minutes or more last year, wherever they were. And I know you mentioned that most of them, that's not the first topic of conversation that you have with them. But how do some of these guys who are used to 30, 35 minutes a game, how do you get them to adjust to maybe playing 15, 20, something like that?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to have anybody go from 35 to 15. I mean, the idea is quality and quantity, and some guys can play the quantity and still play quality. I've coached some of those guys. I've had the pleasure of coaching guys we just didn't want to take out of the game. First step in that is conditioning and preparation. But yeah, I understand the question. I think the idea is maybe some of these guys play at a higher quality, maybe a little bit lower quantity of minutes. I think there's examples of that all over. But there's definitely got to be a sacrifice to this team, but no different than any other team. There's not one team in the country right now that doesn't have 13, 14, 15 scholarship players that don't think that they're competing for this kind of role. So it's an obvious opportunity for our team. It's a question we'll probably be asked all year, and I don't want to speak for the players, but I think Timmy did a pretty good job today talking about we're here to win. We're not embarrassed or shy to say it. Yes, this is our first year. Yes, we have all sorts of challenges ahead, but internally we have an optimism based on our talent and the buy-in to this point that we think we can be relative. So yeah, it's all about the players. I think that's for each guy to answer. I don't want to speak for the guys.
Ross, on your right.
Yeah, Coach, so off the back of that last question, can you just talk about the challenge that it has been so far and that it will be, managing all these talented guys' expectations in regards to playing time?
Yeah, I think I just mentioned that. I mean, I think it's going to be we're here to win. And, I'm not saying we might not have a guy play 39 minutes around here. I mean, all decisions are based on one thing, and that's winning, period. And so these guys know what they're getting into. It's hard to play at schools like Texas. It's hard to coach at schools like Texas. We all understand the expectations. Most of these guys are trying to play in the NBA. It's really hard to play in the NBA, really hard. So a lot of these guys, it's almost like their first year of professional basketball in some ways. It's a challenge to play here. Always has been, always will be. Texas is it's real. It's the biggest game on everybody's schedule. It's not arrogance. It's the truth. I speak from a platform where I can say that because I've been on both ends of it. Now you add the SEC bullet to one shoulder, and it's real. It's not easy to play at Texas.
Brian, go ahead.
Chris, you touched on it earlier, but it's the importance of the fans knowing who these guys are. I mean, Andrew is practically a celebrity around here because of his story and the fact that he's persevered. I mean, just how do you want to go about everybody being the public, getting to know all these new guys?
Yeah, the first thing is we're just going to give you guys access to our players. They're going to be available, obviously, through the appropriate means. These guys are student athletes. They're busy. They have things. There's an appropriate way. But, I'm proud and happy to be working with Scotty Mack, the best. And guys want to tell these guys stories. You want to get to know our players. There's an avenue to go through. The players are going to be the face of Texas basketball. It's not me. It's not the athletic director or the president. It's not a past player. It's the current players on this year's team. They're the face of the program. And this year's team, every team's a little different, but this year's team, like we talked about last time we all sat together, it's 4 returners and it's 7 transfers and some freshmen. So I think that's the first thing is getting the guy's story out there. It's important to us. This is a players program. Every day I wake up, I try to do the best job I can to help our players be in a position to win. And when I say win, I mean off the court. That's academically, that's socially, and then win on the court. It's winning games, and through team success, individual, reward comes. I think look no farther than our league last year. I thought Scott and those guys did a great job, just with the unselfishness of those guards, kind of checking the ego at the door and playing together. not only led him to Monday night, but it led him to the ladder, then it led him to the NBA draft. You know, all those guys are eating. You know, when you win, everybody eats. And so we've done that before with our teams, and this year will be no different. We're going to have some sacrifice. We're going to have some buy-in.
Joe in the back.
Coach, you said from the start there that you wanted to get out in the community with fans and everything and student bodies and everything. You guys have been doing a lot of that. How's that going and what's next for you? And you know, what's next on the plan?
Yeah, I appreciate you asking that. It's real. It's not fluff. It's not something we just slap on a bumper sticker and going down the road. It's real to us. We talk about it all the time. How can we connect to our fan base? And at the top of the list of the categories in that fan base is our student body. You know, we're working hard to get a relationship with the students here at Texas. Just like all relationships, it can't be one way. We can't ask those kids just to come to 19 games and support us. We've got to be our equal part of that relationship. So right now we're trying to get out on campus. We're trying to reach out to different groups. We're trying to make sure that everybody knows that men's basketball is a small part of this great university, but we want to be a big part in terms of being around. So look, if the orchestra has a big time concert, we want to be invited. We want to be there to support. With the other sports teams, that's just fun. You know, being out at the volleyball game the other day, we're going to make a team commitment to go to a soccer game here. Plus, our guys on the individual level are supporting these teams anyway. And of course, with football, we were there, and it was hot out there. But I was there. It was really hot. So just want to congratulate football on their win, and volleyball's off to a great start, and soccer. It's got some home games coming up, and so we look forward to being a part. Not only that, but the other things on campus too. First day of class, we were a part of the Speedway walk there, and just meeting the kids that are part of different clubs and stuff. We want to be a part of the process. Like when you come to school at Texas, that Saturday football game's always been kind of part of the experience, and we want basketball to be a part of the experience. Whether you grew up loving hoops, or whether you just want to support the Longhorns, or whether you just want to have some fun. It's 19 home games, and we're telling students it's 19 parties a year. Come on. Fireside chat, the first one, we worked really hard at it, and that's just our direct avenue to communicate with the students, and we look forward to doing that consistently. That won't be a one-hit wonder. That'll be something that's consistent, and so we look forward to getting out here in the next couple of days and doing our second fireside. So appreciate you asking about that. Our relationship with the students, it's important to us, and we're going to have to earn that trust. We're going to have to earn that commitment from them, and we plan on doing that through consistency.
Andy on your left.
Chris, you got to coach against Andrew over the years. What's it like now getting to coach him, and what do you need from him this season?
Yeah, coaching against Drew. We share the same hometown. We're both from Irving, Texas. So we have a little bit of history. I think when Drew was a freshman or so after a game, shaking hands in that line, I said, hey, man, congrats on being the second best player to ever come out of Irving. And he kind of did a double take at me because he didn't know I was from Irving, and so our relationship's always been, we even talked at each other a little bit during the games and stuff, but the respect's always been there. I think we take a lot of pride from both being from the same hometown. Coaching against him was always a challenge. He's a shot maker. Can't tell you how many times we thought we played really good defense, and he just made one of those individual kind of dagger plays. So it's been nice being on the other end of that. He hits those in practice from time to time, and I'm glad to be on his side of those tough shots. But two things with Drew, and I've been consistent on this. I think the story of him off the court and the adversity he's gone through is real, and never gets tired of talking about that. But as his current coach, I'm pretty quick to tell you, take away the story, what's left is one of the best players in college basketball. So I think sometimes people might talk about the off-the-court stuff a little bit too much. I'm here to tell you that we think he can be one of the most improved players in the country. He's still overcoming some of his adversity with the chemo and the radiation and having to go down to Houston from time to time. We think that he's about to have his healthiest year ever of basketball, even more healthier and stronger than he was before the adversity. So he's a special player. I'm glad I'm having a chance to coach him.
Jeff, go ahead.
Coach, with Timmy's game, as you're putting this team together, as good of a rebounder as he is, as good of a passer as he is, how important was it for you to find guys that, they're not guys that say, hey, I need X number of shots, or I need to dominate the ball, they can fit into pretty much kind of whatever you need to do?
Yeah, Timmy's a ball player. That's why I think he'll be a pro. He's not defined by a position or one skill set. He's a dribble, pass, shoot guy. He can finish around the basket. He plays defense. He's an elite competitor, and you guys get to know me over our journeys here. Like, I don't use the word elite a lot. When I use it, I mean it. And Timmy is an elite competitor. He's one of those guys that has it. He's not just going to compete on good days. He's there on bad days too. It's a steady, it's a composure, it's a poise. He's tough. I think he's the second toughest guy in our program. Me.
Got time
Is
for
that,
two
is that, is that undisputed?
Timmy might disagree, but player-coach relationship, he has to at least let me have my opinion now. And I know there's a day that's coming where Timmy will have a problem with that, but as of right now, I think he gives me a little bit of respect that maybe I don't even deserve at this point.
Time for two last ones. Jason in the back on your right.
Yeah, Coach, with the non-conference schedule officially coming out yesterday, big game that everyone's looking at is Gonzaga first weekend of the season. How important do you think it is for the players to get that national exposure against who everybody expects to be the top team in the country?
Yeah, well, it doesn't mean anything if we can't beat Houston Baptist. So I'm kind of a one game at a time guy, and I'll be consistent with that. It won't be always the sexy answer you guys are looking for, but that's just kind of how I'm wired. I understand the question, though. I mean, Gonzaga's earned the right for you to ask that question. We've got to earn the right to make it a good game, too. So our non-conference schedule, first year, we had some challenges and some obstacles putting it together, but we feel good about where we got it. Obviously, the Gonzaga game is going to be a chance on opening weekend to play against one of the best teams in the country. We like supporting basketball in the state of Texas, and we're happy to play some interstate schools like a Houston Baptist on opening game. Obviously, we want to test ourselves as we prepare for the Big 12 and having Seton Hall and Stanford and Tennessee on the docket this year. A lot of these games were scheduled when we had 2 players. Then we added 3 Jones, we added 4 Ramey, and so this schedule was put to course over the time. It wasn't a schedule where we knew the team that we had, while we were scheduling it, so we've adjusted the best we can. I'm really proud about the throwback game we're going to put in Gregory, I think the last Monday of November. That's really important to me. Unite the family. Again, we're serious about this. It's not fluff. It's at the top of the list along with connecting with our student body. So this is going to be a game where we can honor the past, all the players and coaches and fans that supported Texas basketball back in the day at Gregory. I had a personal highlight the other day. I had a chance to go see Coach Leon Black in person. We took our team, and Coach was doing great, sharp as ever, and we talked a little basketball. We talked a lot Texas, and he was so kind to our players too. But that Gregory game is going to symbolize a lot of things, not one coach, not one player, but a lot of the history and tradition of Texas basketball past. That's going to be a game, that's obviously not on the season ticket package because of the limited attendance. And that's going to be a game where we really give students a great opportunity to come be a part of a special day on that day. So, but lots of highlights on this year's schedule, lots of challenges. Want to give Rodney Terry a lot of credit. RT does a lot in our program. One of many things he does is he oversees the scheduling. And simply stated, RT just worked extremely hard from the first moment he was in Austin. I think I saw him over at the AT&T hotel where I was living at the time, and we had a conversation, and scheduling was in that conversation. So I'm really appreciative of all the work that RT put in this first year schedule.
Keenan, one last one. Go ahead.
Hey, Coach Beard. So you put together a very elite staff coming in here. What do you have to say about what you think that they bring to the table in addition to what you bring to the table?
Yeah, I agree with your opinion. Appreciate the kind words. I think our staff, you could stack up against any staff in college basketball. Might be one as good, but I confidently say I don't think there's anything better. It's not only the talent of each of these men, the experience, it's also, to me, what's really important is how it connects together. The most talented team might not win the national championship. They don't hand out the trophy based on what you look like on paper. Abe Lemons said it best, polls are someone's opinion. Rankings are someone's opinion, but they don't hand out trophies for opinions. So with our staff, I agree with you. There's a lot of talent on the staff, but what I'm most excited about is how the staff works together. It's a no-ego group with RT and Augie and Jarence and Uric and Bob and Casey and Warren and John and everybody in that room. There's no ego. We show up every day. We have a lot of fun together, and we all understand the goal. If we win a bunch of games, we'll still be having fun. If we don't, the room might not be as fun, and we get that. But I think we work really well together. Just like I want you guys to know the players, and we started today with Timmy, I also want you to know the staff. got a lot of future head coaches on this staff. Some of these guys might not be in Austin long because of their talent. So I think, as quickly and as efficiently and as just thoroughly and as well as we can connect our fan base with the people in our organization. Starts with the players, and I think staff's important. And we'll give you guys access to all those people whenever you need them.
Thanks all.
I think we missed you a couple times. You had your hand up. You got one more?
Yes, the Gregory games, you sound excited about them, we're excited about them. Is that something that you would like to see every season?
Me personally, yeah. No, I don't make those decisions. I got people I work for, just like you guys do. I actually work for a lot of people. Starts with the 4 women in my life. Actually 5. My mom still has me doing stuff for her. So, but yeah, in my opinion, as we look at it, I'd love to play a game at Gregory. I don't know what that looks like in terms of every year consistently, but first of all, I mean, you guys have been there, right? Volleyball has done an incredible job. So much respect for what they've done to build that home court advantage. I've never seen anything quite like it in volleyball. I've watched a lot of volleyball. My years in small college growing up, I've always watched a lot of volleyball. But I think with Gregory, it's just a cool place, man. I think if any of us were down in Durham, North Carolina today, we'd probably swing by Cameron Indoor, right, just to take a look. And if you'd never been there before, you'd want to go check it out. Man, I feel that way about Gregory. This is one of the all-time just cool gyms. And we walk in there, it feels like basketball in there to me. Whenever I'm on campus, I go in the gym. I've done it at least 3 times since I've been back. I've been on campus, and we just kind of swing over there. You got to walk up the stairs now when you walk in, right, and then you enter. I just like being there. I like looking at those old scores that they've got on the staircase from back in the day, and it just feels right in there. So number one, just feels like we got to have a basketball game there. 2, it's on campus, right, as we connect with our students. I just think it could be a great game for us. Now I won't make the final decision on that because I know with the new facility, home games are going to be awesome. But if there's a way to keep playing that throwback game, I would be at the top of the list of people supporting that. I think it's just going to be great for Texas basketball. It's the right thing to do. I can't tell you how many emails and letters and personal calls I've had personally with people. Man, we've been wanting to do that forever. Shaka did the orange-white game there one year, and I think everybody loved that. Great idea by Shaka, and we're just hoping to play this game. I'm excited about it. I'm appreciative of Interstate School, Sam Houston State, agreeing to play that game in Gregory. Jason Hooten does a great job over there. So, we play that game with an agreeable opponent because there'll be some logistics, right? It's not going to be, it might not have the perfect locker room or this or that. That throwback game is going to have a real throwback venue to it. So, but that's something I'm really excited about. We look forward to getting the details, exactly what that's going to look like with tickets, exactly what that's going to look like with students. I don't know, but I'm excited to put that on the docket. I think that Gregory game is going to be big for us.
Have one last one from Jim here on the left.
Jim?
Jim Bertino, the Associated Press. One issue that is still around the program is the Eyes of Texas. The NAACP has filed a federal civil rights complaint about the continued use of the song. How is the basketball team going to address that song before or after the games this season?
Yeah, I think, I'm an alum here and I'm familiar, but I'm not educated enough yet to really have a strong kind of personal statement or anything like that. But I will be. I know we talk about those things openly in our locker room. Everything going on in the world is real. I know there's a lot of passion involved in everything tradition-based, including the school song, but also recognize, there's other things out there that are real too. So I'm not trying to dodge the question at all. I'm trying to be really clear here. I'm not personally educated enough right now to talk specifically on what's going on. It sounds to me like something happened today with it. I know something every day. So when I stand up here and talk, guys, I'll be, educated enough to talk personally on things like that. I know that song means a lot to different people. It means something to me. I'm an alum here, right? But I also know that, history is real too, and everybody has a different perspective of history. And I know at Texas, I can speak for our locker room. We're open to everybody's feelings, and we're open to everybody. We want to be a part of the solution and not the problem. And we accept everything. Everybody's right in their personal experience as an American, as somebody at Texas, as somebody living in the state of Texas. And so I would tell you that we're not only open, we're sensitive to these things. When our guys, we want our guys to have a voice. Our players' voice will be heard. As a team, we'll unite. But on things like this, it's a fair question. And I think as time goes on, I think with men's basketball, we won't shy away from these things. And I want to speak for our players too. And these are fair questions for our players at points too. So it's the real world, and to me, the only way to embrace the real world is you put the truth out there in front of you, and you figure things out. But I know it's a sensitive topic for a lot of people.
If I can follow up real quick on that, has the administration told you one way or the other which way they want you to go on?
No. Talked about it, and I understand. I've talked to CDC about it in an open way. Nothing but respect for him as a leader, about as real as a guy as I've ever worked for. One of the main reasons I'm here is CDC. I want to tell you accurately, I don't know if I've ever had a personal conversation with President Hartzell about that, but I know I could. I know I can. Off to a great start with him, and the relationship I have with those two leaders is really, really good. So I know with our team, we invite dialogue in our locker room, and we're going to talk about real things. We're going to attack things head on, and our guys are going to have a voice. I can confidently tell you that.
Thanks all, appreciate your time.
Thanks, guys.